Hello, Moraine Valley Church. I'm excited to be back with you to give us our latest update about our services. We've been doing that along the way. You know, Proverbs 19:2 says this, "It is not good for a person to be without knowledge, and he who hurries his footstep errs." You know, we're living in a season of uncertainty, conflicting information, confusion, and the reality is nobody has absolute knowledge. And we at Moraine Valley really have been one of the first churches in the area and one of the first churches our size to reopen. And we're still learning a lot as we're going along because we're walking in an area where others haven't gone before and where there's really no map on how to walk with it. So what I want to do is share with you just a couple things we're going to be doing as we move forward. And the good news is this, it's temporary. We are going to be back to a more stable life. We're going to be back to a more stable church life. But our hope and dream is to come back even better with the lessons we learned during this season. So I want to talk about two things that are happening now. First of all, we're going to go down from 5 venues here in the building to 3. We're going to be closing down the chapel, and we're going to be closing down the attic upstairs. We'll continue to leave the gym open, room 101, 102, as well as the worship center, which seems to be the preference of most people. Secondly, I want to clear up some confusion about the masks. For various different reasons, people have been getting different messages on that, so I want to try to clear that up. You know, we're asking that everyone that comes to the service at Moraine Valley wears a mask. And we're not asking that you only wear it when you walk into the auditorium or when you leave. We're asking you to wear it throughout the entire service. You know, that's the way we started when we opened the doors. And the elders and the deacons feel that is the wisest way to continue at this time. So we're asking that masks be worn throughout the entire service. Again, we're meeting together. It's a new time, it's a new season, and we're really looking forward to that time when we don't have to wear masks, but even more so when we're all back together worshiping the Lord together. Now, I'm aware of this. I'm aware that masks are uncomfortable because I do wear a mask when I'm not preaching. And I understand how uncomfortable it is. And I also know that there are strong feelings that people have regarding masks, both inside the church and outside the church. There's a lot of differences. But this is the decision that the leadership has made as they seek before the Lord to walk responsibly in caring for the flock that God has given to Moraine Valley Church. So I want to close just by a passage that helps us to know how do we walk in a time like this and with an issue like this. It's in Ephesians chapter 4. We're studying the book of Ephesians. First 3 chapters talk about who we are. Then in chapter 4, he makes a change to how do we walk in light of who we are. And he says this, "Therefore, I, the prisoner of the Lord, implore you to walk in a manner worthy of the calling with which you've been called." We're going to learn all about that in the first 3 chapters. Now, what does this worthy walk look like as new creatures in Christ? This is what he goes on to say. "With all humility and gentleness, with patience, showing tolerance for one another, being diligent to preserve the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace." Humility. Maybe I don't know everything there needs to be known about this time and what's the best. Gentleness, the way we interact with one another with gentle hearts, gentle words. Patience, move slow, don't rush. Bear with one another, tolerate one another. That means somebody who's different than you, I walk and I bear with and I tolerate them with humility and gentleness and patience. And he says this, being diligent to preserve the unity of the Spirit. As my one good brother said to me, Pat, we need to be fighting for the unity of the Spirit in this time rather than fighting for our position about things. Would you join with me at Moraine Valley Church in being an example to the world around us who might want to divide and fight over things like this, and help us be a picture of what Jesus' people are like as we walk in unity together? Love you guys. Look forward to seeing you Sunday.